Okay, this is part one of a book review. Here's the book, How to Read a Painting by Patrick de Rynck. And it's a good book. This is mostly old master paintings, so old stuff, before 1600. And it starts out with really old stuff from 1300s and the 1400s. Not too much of it, though. This is sort of the transition painting from the Byzantine flat style to a three-dimensional style, Maesta by Duccio in Siena, Italy. Italy is, a big place for the beginning of modern painting. Painting took a lot longer than many other forms of cultural artistic expression to develop. And part of that's also because we've lost the paintings of the ancient Greeks. They didn't use methods that could be preserved long term. They didn't have cameras to photograph them, for example. Basic things in terms of interpreting a painting. You can see how the Virgin Mary is much larger than everyone else, indicating she's the most important person in the picture. And the cult of the Virgin Mary she is very important in Catholic Christianity. I mean, she is the feminine, Mother of God, the Queen of Heaven. Catholicism honors women more than any other religion that I'm aware of. Protestantism does not honor the Virgin Mary. It's really, I think, kind of a disgrace. And Protestantism's broken into 30,000 different sects or something. Roman Catholic Church goes back to Christ. Protestantism begins 1517 with Martin Luther, founded by a man. The Roman Catholic Church founded by Christ. Basically, a big thing about the Virgin Mary, she's the Queen of Heaven, the blue robe for heaven, the red robe for charity, for love, and for the sacrifice of Christ. And she's the intercessor between humans and Christ, so to speak, God. In a sense, people pray to Mary and the saints with the idea that they will ask God for a favor. It's kind of intimidating to pray to God directly. And the idea being that if you ask a saint and you don't get what you want, well, you can ask another saint. Versus if you ask God, you don't get what you want, you're like, uh-oh, I'm never going to get it. So Mary's the most popular of the saints. In paintings like this, she's surrounded by other saints, for example, and sometimes angels as well in the background there. This painting here, the Holy Trinity by Masaccio in Florence, Italy, it's like the first one that had linear one-point perspective, three-dimensional painting on a flat surface, so it was kind of famous for that. Here's the famous Merode Altarpiece of the Annunciation by Robert Campin and Rogier van der Weyden. You can see, Rogier van der Weyden, him and Botticelli were the greatest artists of the 1400s. There's certain things about this I think are kind of neat. This picture simultaneously is the Annunciation with the angel Gabriel speaking to Mary. He's got his hand in the characteristic position of a blessing. She's got the symbols of purity, a white cloth on her book, a white vase, lilies, and then you got the Holy Spirit coming in for the simultaneous Immaculate Conception. He looks like Casper the Ghost. I thought that was kind of funny. One of the nice things about Christianity is you can joke about it. Other religions you can't joke. Christianity you can joke. That's good. Here's St. Joseph making a mousetrap to catch the devil. Okay, this is again painting from the 1400s, 1436, Jan van Eyck in the Canon van der Paele. People as they're getting older and they see their time is coming, they like to donate to make a painting in remembrance. And you got with the saints here, the Virgin. The amazing detail is quite extraordinary. So the oil painting allowed more precise detail to be put into the paintings. And it's rather extraordinary, all the details of, the outfits, the carpets, everything. Okay, here's a Crucifixion and Last Judgment by Jan van Eyck, 1441. So the angels are blowing their trumpets of the apocalypse. The time has come for the end of the world and the last judgment. Christ appears, and there's Mary, the intercessor, on one side. You'll have John the Baptist on the other side. All the saints arrayed around. The Archangel Michael standing on the shoulders of the wings of death, if you will. Often you'll have them weighing souls. How will people be judged? Will they be judged to go to heaven or go to hell? And I can tell you there's a lot of controversy about all this stuff. And nobody really knows exactly what happens in the afterlife. I've read thousands of pages of gospel commentary, and I can tell you there's a lot of different points of view. And what I like about Catholicism is it makes the most of life on earth. I don't know the exact details of the afterlife. Nobody really does, I don't think. And there are pretty strong different points of view about it. the basic stuff stays the same, the message of Christ. Okay. Okay, here's another version of the Last Judgment. This one by Rogier van der Weyden, 1450. And in this one, you can see that Archangel Michael is weighing the souls, And of course, there's Christ in judgment. There's Intercessor Mary, John the Baptist, some of the angels carrying around the instruments of the Passion, okay? And there's the people going up to heaven, the others going down to hell. And, in Catholic art and literature, there's also purgatory, 7-story mountain. Okay, now here is St. Luke painting the Virgin Mary. The legend is that she appeared to him several times and he painted her, okay, to get her portrait. That apparently is her parents out there. That's how St. Luke, he was also a doctor. He's also the author of the Gospel according to Luke. And he's also the patron saint of painters. It's a nice painting there. Again, that's Rogier van der Weyden. He's a great painter. And that's all I got for part 1. There's more to it than that, but it's a good introduction. It's a good book. I mean, I just read it on a treadmill. I was going through it. I'll pick up a few things. I'm real interested in art. I enjoy looking at it. And I think this is one of the best art books because, he knows what he's talking about. And he lets you see the pictures in pretty big. They're not like miniature. So anyways, hope you found that helpful.